Hello friends, and welcome to my today's lecture, that is the second part of a short note on Shashi Deshpande. In my last lecture on the very same topic, I had spoken about Shashi Deshpande as an Indian novelist, as a recipient of Sahitya Academy Award, and also that her father Adya Rangacharya was also a Kannada dramatist. I had also compared her with another Indian writer, Anita Desai, and that both of them lived in the Indian society, and Shashi was the one who lives in India, and also writes in India. Now, I had also mentioned her family, about her father, her mother, and her husband, and also the place where they settled up after her marriage. And then even later on, I discussed about her schooling, which she had done from the various schools like convent, and then later on she went to another place to study, all that and many more things. Today I'll be talking about the remaining part of a biographical note on Shashi Deshpande. I had also mentioned that she knows to speak Sanskrit, Marathi and Kannada besides English, and she was very well versed with the huge realm of Indian mythology, which she read against the grain from her own feminist viewpoint, and that she had published 11 novels, children's books, 2 long stories, and many short stories, which deal with the complexities of tradition and modernity, a tradition that does not go unquestioned in her work. Now, what we see is Shashi Deshpande, when we read through her novels or maybe any article that you read on her, you find that she invents characters who are acquainted or who transport the readers to the various social stratas of the urban society, but she seems to be more interested in the women who belong to the middle and the upper middle class, and especially such women who struggle and who fight to establish their own place, to create a space for themselves, or in order to establish their identity in the family and the society at large. Now, she chooses such social and cultural settings as the backdrop to her stories, even though the action that she portrays, it remains private. Now, in her first novel, The Dark Holds No Terrors, which was published in 1986, she introduces this painful topic of marital rape that has already been there in one of her early stories, The Intrusion. And later on, it follows it up in The Binding Wine, published in 1992, and in The Shadow Play, published in 2013. Now, her most prominent and award-winning novel, That Long Silence, which was published in 1988, which we'll be studying right after this, is also considered as her autobiographical novel, and it deals with silence in the family and society as its major theme. Now, it's a loud shriek of despair, in words of Shashi Deshpande herself, though the main character in the novel, she manages to break the silence and speak out through achieving agency. Now, though she wrote the novel in English, but it has also been translated into Hindi, Marathi, and Kannada. And later, when we go through her novels, when we read them, we find that the themes that she deals with, uh, in her novels, reflect the cultural background that her family belongs to. And themes are like literature, Indian myths, traditional Indian music, medicine, and intimate or close relationship to her father are basically the fabric that weave the complete plot and idea of A Matter of Time, published in 1999, Small Remedies, published in 2000, Moving On in 2004, and most directly of Strangers to Ourselves, published in 2015. Her novels are mostly family novels, which are usually built on the generations of a particular family. Now, one can easily understand the intricacies of a novel if he or she draws the family tree and tries to comprehend it in terms of relationship. Now, the complexities of the groundwork of the novel also include the complexities of memory together with the family complexities. And it is this that women shape as it has shaped the women, though they experience and they leave behind through divorce or through separation. And women in her works, that is in Shashi Deshpande's works, they're not merely victims or the sufferers of certain circumstances or as sufferers in the family or in the society, but over the years we find that they have occupied a very different place. They have stood out as self-assured, self-empowered, and articulate personalities. Now, these women, they cross all boundaries and conventional norms, leaving behind all the limitations, hurting themselves against these barriers. In Shashi's novel, In the Country of Deceit, which was published in 2008, the female figure that is there, she has an affair with a married man. And these men, they rape her, they act as despots. But they're also remarkable men at times when they act as lovers, as husbands, and as fathers. Shashi Deshpande is also a political person, which can be witnessed in her many essays, articles, interviews, and most of all, her book Writing from the Margin, published in 2003. Now, she has been made by her own experiences rather than by following the Western women's movement. She did read the Western feminists, though, but this reading has not shaped her, but rather the reading of these Western novelists or Western feminists, they have added to her already existing convictions. Her convictions have been confirmed by the reading of her Western feminists. And she also goes public for her political convictions in 2015 when her father and a Kannada professor, writer, and also an honorable member of the Sahitya Academy Council was murdered. She stepped down from the council, protesting the Academy's silence over the growing intolerance in the country. Now, Shashi Deshpande has received, we all know, a number of awards and accolades during her literary career. Her devastating reviews have also not been spared. She has always enjoyed the high esteem and respect, as is evident from the fact that her works have been translated into various other regional languages. And in 1997, the first Indian female director, Miss Prema Karanth, has turned her novel, The Dark Holds No Terrors, into a film. In 2017, HarperCollins optioned the film's rights for Strangers to Ourselves to be directed by Hasal Mehta. On 6 December 2018, in her inaugural address of the 9th edition of the Goa Arts and Literature Festival, more popularly known as the GALF, Shashi Deshpande has urged the Indians to think about the consequences of wanting a Hindu nation, and also reminded them, those present over there, of the violence and carnage that had been caused by the Indo-Pakistan partition. That's all about Shashi Deshpande's biographical note. I'll be coming up with more lectures of mine. Till then, goodbye and thank you, friends.